Everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Joyce Bender on Disability Matters on Voice America. And I'm so excited to tell you that we have increased the listening audience in the number of countries that listen to the show. As you know, it has been 73, but now it is up to 75. And isn't that just wonderful? Isn't that great? And as I've said before, Germany has a large listening audience, but get ready, because Brazil is really wanting to take this by storm. And actually, we're going to have a show from Brazil. So stay tuned for all of that. But thank you so much for following the show. And remember, if you know of any agency where they have English speaking, send this show because we want everyone around the world to share with others that people with disabilities have dignity and quality of life. And America, what can I say other than how awesome my listeners are? I really love all of you. As you all know, 2 months ago, we had our 1000th episode. Can you believe it? 22 years. Would I be on here without my great listeners? No. So thank you so much. And here I go with my special shout out to Yoshiko Dart, the widow of the late, great Justin Dart. You know I love you, Yoshiko. And now you can wave to me and say, lead on. Love her so much. And hi, Mark. What a great company. They have been the lead, not partial, lead sponsor of this show. They are just tremendous when it comes to supporting people with disabilities. And so are our guests today. And they are Emily Burkhart, Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Officer at Dollar Bank, Laina Fusarelli, Business Controller, Operations Leadership, Innovation, and IT, and Capital Planning Leader while Laina is busy. And she is at Nova Chemical, and our own Scott Hammerstrom, Manager of Programs and Partnerships, the head of the Bender Leadership Academy. Everyone, welcome to the show because this is Disability Mentoring Week. Tomorrow is Disability Mentoring Day. And you all know, my listeners, how excited I am about Disability Mentoring Day. Reminder, 1999, I received the President's Award at the White House from President Clinton for my work in employment for people with disabilities. And I met Jonathan Young, who reported to President Clinton in the disability arena. And we became friends. And one day he called me and said, Joyce, we need a day. We won't get a month, but we at least need a day. And the day will be Disability Mentoring Day because it's about employment. So, although we have National Disability Employment Month, this was the only day that would focus on high school students with disabilities across America. And the coordinator, we designated the American Association of People with Disabilities, but Pittsburgh, we were the first, followed that same time by Delaware. And that is because I had a customer and Leanne Thomas called and wanted to get started. And we developed Disability Mentoring Day programs there and right here in Pittsburgh. We were the first. So I'm very proud of that. And today we have I think the largest in the United States Disability Mentoring Day. So it's always the third Wednesday of every October. So when you hear this show, if you think, oh, I wish we would have done that, you can. You can start now for next year and contact Scott. And if you're at one of these companies, Nova or Dollar, and you hear these two superstars, Laina and Emily, you can, if you say, oh, this is great, I didn't know we are doing this, I'd like to be involved, contact them. The more the better. So, with that, I am so thrilled to have Emily Burkhart and Laina with us. And that is because they're champions to me. Anyone that helps a student with a disability is a champion to me. So let's start with Emily. Emily, I have listeners around the world in the United States, and they always want to know more about our guest. So let's start with you. Let's hear your story. Where did you grow up, and then about your journey on to Dollar Bank.
Sure. Good afternoon, Joyce. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. So I was born and raised right here in Pittsburgh. I grew up in the Monroeville area. And after college, after I got married, we moved to Baldwin, and that's where we are currently. And from a young age, I always had a passion for helping people and building connections. It's always been a passion of mine. And in 2012, I started my career here at Dollar Bank in the retail branch network. And I had the opportunity to work directly with customers in the community. And over time, that passion for people and making a difference led me to transition into human resources in 2023. And today I am so proud to serve as Dollar Bank's Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Officer.
Wow, that is great. And what a great journey to get you to
Absolutely.
there. And how about you, Laina Fusarelli? Let's hear about you. What's your story? And how did this lead you to Nova Chemical?
Sure, Joyce. Born and raised in Burgestown, small town out here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I was proud to be a first generation college graduate. My career took me through various finance and accounting roles at different companies. I joined Nova Chemicals, it's hard to believe, 14 and a half years ago. Since then, I've had lots of different opportunities and roles in the company, and today I serve as a business controller. But I think my passion for like inclusion and mentorship, especially for those with disabilities, it's really personal for me. My mother had primary progressive multiple sclerosis, and she became a quadriplegic when I was a very young, about 8 years of age. I was one of her primary caregivers up until the time she passed away. So throughout her journey, I think I witnessed both the immense challenges she faced, but also the extraordinary compassion of those around her and complete strangers. So after I had lost her, Disability Mentoring Day walked into my life. I mean, just months after we had lost her. So it became just an avenue of way for me to give back and to honor her. So love it, happy to be here, and really look forward to chatting about this day with everyone.
Wow, what a story. Because it's like the light took you right to Disability Mentoring Day. Wow, that is a great story, Laina. Well, Emily, tell us about Dollar Bank. Like, how large is the bank? How old is the bank? And also, what do you do at Dollar Bank? What is your role?
Sure. So Dollar Bank is one of the largest mutual banks in the country with 170 years of history. We've,
Wow.
we've been proudly serving customers since 1855. And today we continue to grow while keeping our focus on community, service, and people. As the Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity Officer, my role is really to create and sustain an environment where every employee feels valued, supported, and able to succeed. That includes multiple things, including leading our Inclusion Council, empowering our employee resource networks, and building programs.
Wow. And Dollar, if I'm right, tell me if I'm right, isn't the building like a historic building?
Yes, yes. Our Fourth Avenue branch is the original branch, and it is now a history center that you can go and see some of our old artifacts and some just really amazing pieces that we have there. And you can also check out the original lions as well. But the Fourth Avenue branch is open and operating as a branch, and it just has such a beautiful feel when you walk in. It really is. It really is such a beautiful building.
It is.
Mhm.
It really is. And when I think of Dollar, I still think of that building
Absolutely.
because, I grew up with seeing that building. It is beautiful. It really is.
It is.
Well, how about you, Lena? Tell us about Nova Chemical. I do have a question. Do you provide chemicals around the world, and what is your role?
Awesome. So first and foremost, you can see behind me or above me, right? We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year at Nova Chemicals. So pretty exciting. We are a global leader in the production of ethylene, polyethylene, and most recently recycled polyethylene resins. So we have a strong focus on sustainability and innovation. Our resins go into products used worldwide in packaging, food packaging, and everyday consumer plastic goods. So my role as a business controller, I help get to guide financial strategy and decision making so that help ensure operational excellence across our Canadian assets and also our American assets. I'll also add I get to lead Nova's DMD efforts and their partnerships with the Bendership Leadership Academy. So that is icing on the cake for my role here at Nova.
Great, great. Do you send chemicals around the world? I mean, what is the main thing you do in the chemical area?
Yep. So those polyethylene resins we produce, both virgin and that recycled content, we ship those resins to lots of different places in North America that turn them into like bottle caps. They go into canoes. They could be plastic bags, the food packaging you see on your shelves. Those type of resins all help provide, different features to those products, keeping food fresh, safety, and we just opened up and built a mechanical recycling facility in Connersville, Indiana. So now we are taking those end products and recycling them back into those resins they once were so we can keep circularity at the forefront and sustainability focus. So it's pretty exciting, but we also export stuff to different regions of the world. So definitely a global leader presence out there.
Yeah. And we have so many great companies right here in Pittsburgh. We do. We have so many great companies. And I have to commend Nova and Dollar for supporting Disability Mentoring Day because my goal someday is to have it not only as large as it is now, but just all across Pittsburgh, everywhere. That is my goal. And with these two fireballs, it is possible that we will do that. And speaking of superstars, Scott, and I love Scott, he's worked with me for a long time. And from when I first met Scott, you won't believe this, but well, you probably will. But Scott, how many years ago was that?
It's probably 18, 19 years now.
So here's the funny story. Okay, I'm friends with his wife, Jen. So she called and said, would you do me a favor? Would you meet my husband because he's looking for a job and I thought you could help him with his resume and, career counseling and all of that. And I said, sure. So Scott comes in and he meets with Mary and myself. I don't think Paula was in the conference
Mm.
room, but she was there in the building. And we said, okay, let's go through your resume. And we go through the resume and go through the resume and we go through the resume. And guess what happens? Tell them what happens, Scott.
So after getting advice from Joyce and Mary, I think the next day they had me come into the office and I was editing other people's resumes and I haven't left since. And I've been here 18, 19 years. One of the few people who've got a job without getting an interview, official interview.
we loved him and we hired him, and you could see we made the right choice. Also, you know what Scott told us right then and from the beginning? He said, you know what I love? I love to work with young people. And here he is working with young people.
Yeah.
So because he was with Best Buddies and the Arthritis Foundation before I met Scott, and also worked at Bender Consulting in employment, so he knows employment. So Scott, you have singled out these two. When I called Scott, I said, Scott, let's have two champions. I moved things around because our radio show is almost scheduled through December. And I said, let's move things around. It's Disability Mentoring Day. My show's on Tuesday. So, Scott, can you find two champions? And guess what he said? Oh, that's easy. Emily and Laina. And here we have them. So, Scott, tell us why. Why did you choose them?
Well, that's so you are correct. They are both superstars. Laina, I've been working with her for 14 and a half years now, I guess, and with Disability Mentoring Day, and with Laina, every time I ask for help, with being a host site or job shadow or whatever I need, Laina picks up the phone and says, absolutely, I will do that. So she never says no. She always wants to help us out. Um, and I know she's been so passionate about Disability Mentoring Day and helping young folks, and they have a wonderful program. So that was an easy choice. And Emily Dollar Bank has been a big supporter of Disability Mentoring Day for many, many years. And Emily had the opportunity to go to our Disability Mentoring Day reception at the Heinz History Center. She got to see all the business leaders and some of the student speakers, and I think she had a student leaders class, and Dollar Banks is going to be participating in our student leaders program this school year. So both were easy choices to call them up, and they both answered, and neither of them had any hesitation. They're like, absolutely, I'll do it. And we got that secured in a very quick time. So, because they're the best.
They are. And I just want to say again, I want to reiterate, anyone that helps a high school student with a disability is a champion to me. So, you know, high school and middle school students with disabilities often think there is no hope. I'm never going to get a job. I have a learning disability, or, I have autism, whatever it is. And they have been labeled, my saying, only jars should be labeled, but people with disabilities are often labeled. And in schools, unfortunately, the bar is lowered at many times, and that's why we are here to raise that bar. So when you give them that opportunity, they go to a company and it's, wow, this is something. You may not realize that when you're listening to the show today, but it is a big deal. Do you know why? They say to us afterwards, you mean I could do that? That's something I would like to do. Then you have the managers. What do they say? Wow, we could hire people with disabilities. Look at this. So, like, it's a two-way win across the board. So, once again, Emily and Laina, I love you. You're awesome. Thank you for helping change lives. And it is time for our news break on the half hour called Mathis with the mic, Jennifer Mathis. But Jennifer could not be here with us today. But, every week, Jennifer represents Basilon Board for Mental Health Law, which I am so proud to be a board member. And today we have Anne Raish or
Perfect.
Reich. Oh, Reich. Okay.
Got it
We
right.
have Anne with us, and I just want to tell you about Anne. Anne is like, wow, what a superstar. She is. Here I am going to tell you a little bit about Anne. She spent 15 years as an attorney in the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice, working the majority of time as, guess what? The principal deputy chief of the division's disability rights section. She has worked just across the board in ADA, in education, in employment, and in so many areas. And it is a pleasure to have her with us today. So, Anne, thank you for joining us. What news do you have for us today, Anne?
Well, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here. I have not great news, but I wanted to talk today about the news over the weekend that thousands of employees across federal agencies received reduction in force notices. A reduction in force notice, or it's called a RIF, is a way for a government agency to reduce its workforce by eliminating positions. So media outlets are reporting that more than 100 employees from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, received these notices, while 466 employees at the Department of Education were also impacted. And at education, these included staff at the Office of Special Education Programs, the Rehabilitative Services Administration, the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education, and the Office for Civil Rights. So these raise, concerns that agencies about whether these agencies can effectively operate programs that are focused on implementing critical funding, services, and supports for individuals with disabilities. At SAMHSA, it's unclear at this stage what teams specifically are affected, but as you know, SAMHSA plays a critical role in improving access to high quality, effective programs for individuals with mental health disabilities. They oversee billions of dollars in funding and provide really valuable technical assistance to states. So the staff there has really extensive expertise. They work hands-on with organizations to develop best practices. And so there's really a potentially significant loss in institutional knowledge and subject matter expertise that could be felt by state and local communities. With respect to the Department of Ed, media outlets are reporting that with this latest round of cuts, most of the staff of OSEP, the Office of Special Education Programs, will be gone, and only a few employees will remain at RSA. And these cuts really follow the reduction in staffing that happened last spring. So I think this raises questions about implementation of the IDEA and state voc rehab programs that help states in providing programs to individuals with disabilities to maximize employment. So we are following this closely. There was a lawsuit filed recently by a union of federal agency employees to try to stop these rifts. But I think it raises concerns about the resources to implement these programs and also the expertise that could be affected.
I do have a couple questions, Ann, because we work a lot with teachers and transitional coordinators across all these schools. And different people have called me and they're thinking, well, I have a job, or is special ed totally gone? And I don't really have that answer. So what is the answer?
Well, these aren't cuts to the programs per se. The states are still obligated to follow IDEA. to provide special education and related services. So it doesn't cut the programs themselves, but I think it raises questions about the staffing resources to support on the federal level. I mean, these staff provide oversight of the grants that the Department of Ed provides, and they provide oversight of the grants that SAMHSA provides. They also provide technical assistance to help with training on the ground. So I think it's a situation to monitor, but hopefully, with respect to the programs themselves, they will continue to operate. It's just a question of how are they going to get the resources at the federal level to conduct their oversight responsibilities.
Mhm. Well, thank you. We will keep us, and I'm sure Jennifer will keep us tuned in to all of this. I have a question though. Anyone, they have children with disabilities, or they're very invested in special ed and they're nervous about this. Is there anything they can do? Our listeners have
Yeah,
had a major impact. So, what could our listeners do?
I think there's a couple of things. I think this is an evolving situation. This whole process takes many, many days and weeks, and there have been legal challenges. I think also I think disability rights groups will continue to put out information on this. There's been some alerts already from the ARC and some other groups, and they could check their websites. And we at Bazelon will continue to keep updated. Jennifer will update, I'm sure. But I think those are some things they could do. And there's more information in some of these alerts that have come out from the disability groups.
Okay. Well, keep leading on, Anne. And thank you so much for that news update today. And we will look forward to hearing Jennifer next week. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Joyce.
Have a good day, Anne.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we love the teachers. Let me tell you, we love the teachers we work with, don't we, Scott?
We absolutely do. They are unsung heroes, and for Disability Mentoring Day, we always talk about the host sites and all the work that they do, but these teachers and these IU coordinators, they help. They do all this extra work to make sure that the students get to do this Disability Mentoring Day. So shout out to all our educators.
And right here at our office, I want to give a shout out to Stephanie Law. I want to give a major shout out to Jill Zomp, who sadly for Scott works for me, not for Bender Leadership, and helps so much. And Rachel, and is there anyone I did? Bonnie Rubin.
Bonnie
Oh my goodness,
Rubin.
Bonnie Rubin, superstar that she is. Um, really great people, because it's going to be like a whirlwind here tomorrow for Scott and his team. So, Scott, how many students do we have that will be
Oh,
participating?
Joyce, we're very excited. This year, we're probably going to have over 500 students participate in Disability Mentor Day from, well, not only all over Western Pennsylvania, we have cyber schools participating, so there'll be students all over Pennsylvania. So I think we're around 48 school districts. We'll go to 30 organizations at 32, 33 locations. So, besides Dollar Bank and Nova Chemicals, Highmark, UPMC, PNC Bank, the city of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County government, big and small organizations who want to participate. And a lot of the organizations, they've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years, which is incredible. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of coordination. And thank you, Joyce, for mentioning Jill and Stephanie and Bonnie and the whole team, because they've been working nights, weekends, mornings, and to make sure everybody gets to their proper place for tomorrow. So we're ready to go.
That's wonderful. That isn't that great? 500. 500 going to how many companies?
Around 30 different organizations in Pittsburgh,
30 organizations.
about
That
33
is
locations.
someday, Scott, 1,060 companies, right? We're going to
That
double
is the
that.
plan. We're
Yeah,
gonna get
that
bigger and
is the
better.
plan. And throughout the whole state of Pennsylvania, we're going to be doing that. Scott's going to be on the move here.
Yeah.
So, Emily, you said you're all prepared at Dollar for Disability Mentoring Day. So, what can those students look forward to?
Yeah, sure. So here at Dollar Bank, Disability Mentoring Day, it's one of our favorite events of the year. At Dollar Bank, we open our doors to host mentees, give them a chance to explore potential career paths, and provide meaningful mentoring opportunities with our employees. We have 6 senior leaders lined up to come talk with the students about their business units and what they do daily. It's really a day of learning, it's a day of empowerment and connection for the mentees, but also for our employees who learn just as much in return. So we are really excited. And then also we will all get to have lunch together on our rooftop here. We have a beautiful rooftop space.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's with wide open windows that look over the rivers. So I think I know last year they loved going up there and just seeing the view and seeing the view of the stadiums and the Gateway Clipper and everything. So we're all going to have lunch together and just have an open forum where we can kind of talk to them about what they learned and if there was anything that interested them. So we have a whole team on board and we are just so excited.
Joyce and I have
Wow.
been onto that roof,
Yes,
and
we
that's one of the
have.
best views in Pittsburgh. So, and it's
Yeah.
so next year, Emily, I may visit you at Dollar Bank for DMV.
Absolutely. It is beautiful up there. It is. We are very grateful to have that space. It's a very zen place to go up and have lunch or just
Yeah.
take it, especially in the wintertime. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that's when I'll be down
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my nickname is Frosty,
Okay.
meaning
Yep.
I love snow. So I'll
Yes.
be coming down to visit you, Emily, to go up there. So you
Always,
can,
always, Joyce.
okay. How about you, Elena? What is Nova Chemical doing for Disability Mentoring Day?
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. I get too excited and want to just talk about everything. But at Nova Disability Mentoring Day, it's really a hands-on, engaging experience for the students when they visit. We design the activities to help build their confidence and, help them with practical skills. So we have interview skits where the kids have to identify the do's and don'ts of job interviews, everything from like body language to dressing professionally, to the point last year where they were so excited they themselves wanted to jump in and try to be interviewed for a job, right? We do a budgeting workshop where we help the students learn how to manage their paychecks and make smart financial decisions. We do a career pathing workshop that actually helps students look at things with their strengths and their interests and helps them explore roles that align with things that they're good at or they like to do. So, giving them exposure to things maybe they haven't heard of before. And then the last activity we do like them to learn a little bit about Nova Chemicals. We have a fake grocery store where we play grocery games that teach about recyclability. So the students have to identify how to properly recycle everyday items, and they get a chance to learn about Nova's sustainability efforts. So it is a day filled with learning, laughter, empowerment. And we also do lunch, always real popular with the students: pizza, chicken fingers, fries, a chance for them to decompress, relax, and just to talk to us about things they like to do. So great day for the students, but a really great day for us here at Nova Chemicals too.
Yeah, and Lena, has there been like a standout event that stayed with you?
Like when I think of this, we have Joyce a Student's Choice Activity Award. All the groups that put on these different events for them throughout the day, they vie to be the best. It's an honor. So all the students get a ticket at the end of the day and they get a vote for their favorite event activity that they participated in. So it is a highly coveted trophy here. The teams are all gunning for it again this year. So for me, that's the best part, right? Like they're all looking to have the most phenomenal event. They're invested in these students. So to me, that's always my favorite part at the end of the day, to see what different pieces of the events the students liked and see who gets bragging rights for the next year of that in their office. So
Yeah,
always good stuff.
yeah. Oh, that is so great. I'm sure that's so much fun. How about you, Emily? Do you have anything that has stood out in your mind when you think about uh, Disability Mentoring Day?
Yeah, so they love hearing from our speakers, but last year the one thing that really stood out was they love it when our security department comes down and they have someone on one time with the security department. They asked a lot of really great questions. Definitely a very popular speaker that day, but it was just so amazing to hear the kids ask such in-depth questions and just the maturity and the resilience that is shown. It's just it I just remember feeling just so it was almost like I learned from them just as much as they were learning from me. So I think the feeling after Disability Mentoring Day is definitely what stands out to me. But just watching the kids get so involved and so hands-on and so excited is really so fun.
Yeah, it goes so fast, but you don't forget it. It
Right.
stays with you. Well,
Absolutely.
we have been talking to Emily Burkhart from Dollar Bank, Laina Fusarelli from Nova Chemical, and our own Scott Hammerstrom leading the Bender Leadership Academy. We're going to go to break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. If you just joined us, we're talking to Emily Burkhart and Laina Fusarelli from Dollar Bank and Nova Chemical. So if you're listening and you're thinking, oh, I wish my aunt or my friend or whomever it is had heard this show, they can hear it. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and you will find this show and you can share it with anyone that you want. And please spread this news. Please. Disability Mentoring Day, so important to me, so important to all of us, because I know what it does to change lives. Scott, do you remember that VIP Disability Mentoring Day event where Hero played?
I do. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Hero was one of our Federal Leadership Academy students, participated in our work readiness program, and then student leaders and advanced student leaders. And when you first saw him, it was his first year. He was so disengaged, and it was during COVID, and it was at home, and just laying on the couch, had a Superman cape on, and just we didn't know if we were getting through. And he kept coming in week after week for the class and did well. And then continued on with our student leaders and just gained confidence and speaking in front of other people. And then who knew he played the piano, and he not just played it. He played what I know one of your favorite compositions, Joyce. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Beethoven.
Yes, he played Moonlight
Be-
Sonata.
Moonlight Sonata, and
Yes.
he blew the roof in front of 150 people. It just was absolutely amazing.
So this is an example of what I mean. Hero, when he started, not attentive, not that interesting, but of course, we're all about no pity. So it's always, is there something wrong? Let's go, sit up. But who would ever think he would go from that to playing? And he goes to school for that, right, in New York, Scott?
He does go to school in New York, and trying to continue on. And yeah, he's a success story.
And he's a phenomenal classic pianist, phenomenal. But to go from that to playing this piano in front of like 200 people,
Yeah.
wow, wow, that will always stay with me, Scott. So I just want to mention, Scott, how we started all of this in Delaware.
Hmm.
Also, I mean, Pittsburgh in Delaware, how we started Disability Mentoring Day, but how really the Bender Leadership Academy came from my own chief of staff, Leanne Thomas in Delaware. So just a special shout out to her and to we can't wait to come down through that Bender Leadership Academy class. And I know you love it too, Scott.
I do.
So Emily and Lena, when you think of Disability Mentoring Day, we'll start with you, Emily. What is your hope? What do you hope to see in the future?
Yeah, so I would say my hope is that Disability Mentoring Day continues to open doors and create opportunities. I want mentees to walk away with confidence in their abilities and a better sense of what's possible for their futures. I also hope it inspires our employees to see the importance of inclusion and the value of diverse perspectives in the workplace. I actually asked the same question to Hannah Walker, who's the president of our Do Adapt ERN, which is the ERN that supports employees with visible and invisible disabilities, as well as their allies. And she had said that Disability Mentoring Day allows us to show these students that there are a wide range of career paths at the bank. It's powerful to see yourself in a workplace setting. You have a place to belong here. And I really want to give a huge shout out to Hannah and Heather, who jumped on the planning committee for Disability Mentoring Day, because without their hard work, this definitely would not be possible. So it's definitely been a team effort. But definitely, I would say that that is my hope for Disability Mentoring Day.
Kudos to them also for all the work they've done. How about you, Lena? What is your hope?
I think my hope would be that DMD continues to expand its reach and inspire more companies to get involved. I want every young person with a disability to feel seen, valued, empowered to pursue their dreams. So, Disability Mentoring Day is a bridge, right? It connects talent with opportunity and possibilities. And I hope that, that just continues to spark lasting change. That's
Mhm.
that's what I hope for, Joyce. And I'll also give a shout out. I am one person here at Nova Chemicals talking about all the great work. There is a huge team behind me here that step up every single year for Disability Mentoring Day and Bender Leadership Academy every month, that without them, none of this would be possible. So thank you, Emily, for a reminder to thank the workers. They are awesome here at Nova Chemicals.
Yeah, it takes a family. It really does.
A village.
Scott, a village, yes, a big village. Scott, before we end today, I realize we have really not shared for people listening, businesses, how does this work? What happens on Disability Mentoring Day, Scott? Would you mind
Well,
explaining that?
yeah. So what the thing? So it's a national program. So it's not just happens in Pittsburgh. It's all over the country. Always happens the third Wednesday of every October, and every place does something a little bit different. That's why I like the diversity here with Laina and Nova Chemicals is doing something a little bit different than Dollar Bank. But so we want all of the companies and organizations who participate to make it their own. So they always will come around 9:30 a.m. To the organization and leave around 1 o'clock. And during lunchtime, we want all the students, teachers, and all the businesses to come together to have a nice lunch together, talk, have some speakers. The goal is to have fun, but also to learn. Emily, for Dollar Bank, and I always use this as an example. When I was in high school, when I thought of a bank, I thought of a bank teller and I thought of maybe a bank manager. But it's so much more. You have your HR, you have to have your IT, you have to have your finance people, accounting people, all different types of positions, all different types of careers that you may not know. So for the students, it's just a wonderful opportunity just to have the opportunity to see what's out there and hey, I could do this, or this sounds something of interest. And that happens. We have students who've gotten internships because of their interest in Disability Mentor Day and moved on to get jobs. So I think the businesses sort of also get more out of it than the students because they love this Disability Mentoring Day. I know, Lena, you mentioned your team, and Emily, your team. You probably plan 6, 7 months in advance. I know we'll be starting in November, planning for 2026, and it just we just love it. So and it brings the companies and their teams, and they can collaborate and come up with great ideas. And Lena, you mentioned sort of a competition or the different things with the shopping, and that's just fun things that you get to do outside of your normal routine, and the kids love it because they're out of the school and they get to do something different as well. So I think it's just a great day, and I will, like I said, I've been doing this for 19 years now, coordinating this, and it's one of my favorite days.
And I don't know well, first of all, I want to explain that before the students go to the company to be a mentee with a mentor, those mentors are selected ahead of time. So these are managers or leaders at Nova Chemical or Dollar Bank that work in different areas, and they are paired with a student, with a mentee. The whole thing is job shadowing, understanding the world of work. So for parents listening, the student is paired with someone at the company, and they leave, I think, around 1 o'clock. Is that
Yeah, they
right?
leave at 1 o'clock. They have to get back to the school.
So it's like 9 to 1.
Mhm.
And it is just an absolutely great day. It's so educational and so wonderful for everyone and so safe. very safe. These companies are all about security. So, Scott, if a family is listening and they're thinking, "Oh, I wish our school was involved," what do they do?
They can go to our website, which is benderleadership.org, and there's a contact us button on there. Click on that, send an email, say I want to see if my school is participating in Disability Mentoring Day, or I want to learn more, and somebody from my team will get back to them right away. And besides Disability Mentoring Day, this is our kickoff for all of our programs for Bender Leadership Academy, because we will be starting our student leaders, advanced student leaders, work readiness programs starting in November. So they can't participate in Disability Mentor Day. Maybe they can participate in some of our other classes.
So, yes, and I hope you do. Laina, Emily, what message do you have for our listeners? Emily?
Yeah, Joyce, I think my message would be, inclusion starts with each of us. Whether you're an employer, whether you're a community member, a student, you have the ability to create spaces where people feel welcome, respected, and encouraged to be their authentic selves. Small actions, listening, mentoring, supporting can make a huge difference. It also shows our employees and community that inclusion is not just a statement in our values, but it's something that we practice. For me, it's both professional and personal. As a mom with kids who have special needs, who's experienced the hardships that come along with that, I want my children and every single child like them to see companies investing in their future.
Agreed. How about you, Laina?
I think I'll choose 3 words. Mentorship changes lives. So whether you're a student, a job seeker, a business leader, you have the power to make a difference. Disability
Oh,
Day, we celebrate potential, inclusion, connection, right? So I want everyone listening to find a way to be a part of it. And I guess really just remind them that, a single drop can create ripples across the pond. So one person's actions can send waves of change through the lives of many.
yes. I love that quote. I love that mentorship changes lives. How true is that? Well, I end every show with a quote. And first of all, thank you, Emily and Laina and Scott. It was truly a pleasure to have you as guests today. Our quote for today is: "One of the proudest things in my career was the creation of Disability Mentoring Day," said Jonathan Young. This is Joyce Bender, America's Voice where disability matters, at voiceamerica.com. Talk to everyone next week. And in the words of Mary Brocker, when you go out tomorrow, remember, choose joy.